Have you not seen Deadpool? Or just want a refresher or summary or a rundown, if you will, of the movie? Well, then this video is for you. I'm John from ObserveMedia, and this is a rundown of Deadpool. Deadpool opens on a slow-motion crash scene with Angel of the Morning playing over it. We cut to Deadpool on his way to that scene in a cab being driven by a guy named Dopinder. We see the villain of the movie, a mutant named Francis, selling something to a warmonger. Deadpool reaches the men he is after, which leads us to the opening credits scene. After the crash, Deadpool reveals he is looking for Francis. He kills everyone inside the car. At Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, a mutant named Colossus sees a news report about the crash. He and another mutant named Negasonic Teenage Warhead leave to head to the scene. Men with guns surround Deadpool at the crash scene. He kills all of them with only 12 bullets, minus one on a motorcycle.
Bad Deadpool.
Deadpool fights one remaining guy who had survived being shot in the head. After impaling him with his katanas, Deadpool addresses the audience, telling them that the movie is a love story. We flash back to 2 years ago. A man named Mr. Merchant gets a surprise visit from a pizza guy, Jeremy, who he didn't order pizza from. The pizza was actually ordered by Wade Wilson, who broke into Merchant's apartment to order pizza from Jeremy so he could scare Jeremy into not stalking Megan, who hired Wade. Are you following me? Okay. Basically, all of this is to set up the fact that Wade is one of a number of former mercenaries in the area that gather at a bar called Sister Margaret's, and basically help people with things like Megan's stalker problem. Wade goes to Sister Margaret's and meets with his friend Weasel. They discuss the Weasel having Wade's name in the bar's Deadpool, a betting system on who at the bar will die next. A prostitute named Vanessa meets Wade at the bar. They go back and forth on who had the worst past. Eventually, after some skee-ball, they go back to an apartment and have sex. The sex scene basically transitions between different holidays, leading us to about a year later. Wade proposes to Vanessa and she accepts. However, soon after, he faints. They go to a doctor who reveals that he has late-stage cancer. Back in present day, the man on the motorcycle that Deadpool failed to kill returns and is revealed to be Francis. Wade tells Francis that he wants him to change him back to the way he was before, as Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead arrive. Flashing back, we find Wade planning to leave Vanessa in order to not make her live through him dying of cancer. Vanessa protests, saying they can fight it. Later at Sister Margaret's, a man calling himself Agent Smith tells Wade that he represents a program that can not only cure his cancer, but give him amazing powers as well, turning him into a superhero. Wade denies him, but later decides to agree to it in order to save Vanessa from having to suffer through his death. Back in current time, Colossus claims he can't let Deadpool continue to use his powers recklessly. Deadpool claims that Francis has it coming. As they argue about Deadpool becoming a superhero, Francis escapes. Colossus handcuffs Deadpool, but Wade cuts off his own hand and escapes. Flashing back again, we find Wade about to go through with the procedure Agent Smith proposed. Francis, calling himself Ajax, along with a mutant called Angel Dust, proceed to inject him with a serum that will activate any possible latent mutant genes in his system. He tells Wade that the serum affects everyone differently. It gave Angel super strength and gave himself heightened reflexes and an inability to feel pain. They run a series of stress-inducing procedures on him in an attempt to either activate his mutant gene or kill him. Wade finds out that Ajax's real name is Francis and tells another patient. Francis, angered by this, locks Wade in a tank, telling him that the oxygen concentration in the tank will be lowered until he feels like he's suffocating. Then, if he starts to pass out, it'll turn the O2 up, basically keeping him in a constant state of suffocation without letting him pass out. He turns the tank on and leaves Wade inside. During his time inside the tank, Wade's skin begins to change and scab. After opening the tank, Francis claims that the mutation allows Wade's cells to regenerate, curing his cancer and allowing him to heal from anything. He then locks Wade back in the tank and turns it on. Before he does, though, Wade slyly steals a match from Angel Dust. Inside the tank, he lights a match and throws it next to the oxygen emitter, causing the tank to explode. Francis hears this and returns, but Wade attacks him. Francis claims Wade doesn't want to kill him because he is the only one that can fix him. He impales Wade with a pole and leaves him to die as the building collapses. Soon after, Wade climbs out of the rubble, still alive and healed. He finds Vanessa but decides he doesn't want her to see how he looks now and have to live with him the way he is now. Wade tells Weasel what happened and tells him that he plans to find Francis and make him change him back. Weasel convinces him that he needs to let Francis believe that he's still dead by wearing a mask and suit. Wade comes up with the code name
Captain Deadpool. No, just Deadpool.
He puts together a suit and begins hunting down Francis. He eventually finds Agent Smith, who says he'll tell him exactly where Francis is. Deadpool gets into a cab being driven by Dopinder, which brings us back to where we are now. Deadpool returns to his home that he is now sharing with a blind woman he met earlier named Al.
God, I miss cocaine.
Her.
He tells her what happened along with his plan to wait until his hand grows back, then hunt down Francis again. Francis and Angel go to Sister Marguerite's and ask Weasel about Wade. They find a picture of him and Vanessa at the bar and leave. Weasel warns Wade and they go to a strip club to find Vanessa. Stan Lee DJs at the strip club. It's not important, but just letting you know that he's there. At the strip club, someone calls Vanessa to meet him out back. It turns out to be Francis who knocks her out. Wade goes back to meet her but only finds her purse. Later, Francis texts Wade from Vanessa's phone and tells him to come get her at a place called the Scrapyard. Deadpool goes to the X-Mansion to get Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead to help him. They agree to help him save her. Dopinder takes them all to the Scrapyard, but Deadpool leaves all of his guns in the car when he drops them off. Francis and Angel confront Deadpool, Colossus, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead at the Scrapyard. Colossus fights Negasonic Teenage Warhead fights Angel Dust, which breaks out into a big fight between Deadpool, Negasonic, Angel Dust, and some of Francis' thugs. Colossus begins fighting Angel as Francis shows Deadpool that he has Vanessa, then orders his men to shoot Wade. Negasonic Teenage Warhead uses some scrap metal to launch Wade to the top of the boat Francis is on. On top of the boat, Francis has Vanessa locked in the tank that Wade was locked in earlier. He turns it on, sucking the oxygen out of the tank. Deadpool fights Francis and in the process throws a katana at the tank, letting air in. Vanessa uses the katana to get her hand free, then releases herself before stabbing Francis through the back with it. He survives and throws her away. Meanwhile, Negasonic Teenage Warhead saves Colossus, who is being killed by Angel. In doing this, she creates an explosion that tips the boat that Deadpool and Francis are on. Wade puts Vanessa in the tank in order to keep her safe as the entire boat collapses. Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead find Vanessa in the rubble and pull her out. Francis tackles Deadpool off the top of a pile of containers and the two fight. Deadpool beats him down and tells him to fix him. Francis replies that there is no cure for him. Deadpool threatens to kill him, but Colossus stops it.
Why?
Deadpool kills Francis. Colossus tells him to promise to at least try to be better. Vanessa confronts Wade in anger. He lets her take off his mask, showing her what he looks like. She tells him, well...
After a brief adjustment period, and a bunch of drinks, it's a face. I'd be happy to sit on.
They kiss. After the credits, Deadpool tells the audience that Cable will be in the sequel. I hope you found this rundown useful. Be sure to like and subscribe below and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see us do next. I'm John from ObserveMedia, and I'll talk at you again later.